Hello everyone. Have you ever cracked open a coconut and marveled at its huge seed, or noticed how tiny poppy seeds sprinkle on your bun? Isn't it fascinating that both belong to the same biological category, seeds? Seeds vary enormously in size. Some, like poppy and strawberry seeds, are so tiny that you can barely see them with the naked eye. Others, like mango or plum seeds, are quite large and easy to handle. And then we have giants like the coconut and double coconut, the largest seeds in the plant kingdom. But here's the amazing part: whether they are as small as dust or as big as your fist, all seeds follow the same basic structure and play the same role in plant life. Now, let's see how seeds are classified based on their food reserves. Some seeds are called albuminous or endospermic. These retain the endosperm, which serves as a rich food source for the embryo. Examples include cereals, pulses, and millets. Others are exalbuminous or non-endospermic. In these, the endosperm is used up during development, and instead, food is stored in the cotyledons, the seed leaves. Examples here are peas, grams, and mangoes. So, in simple terms, some seeds depend on endosperm, while others rely on their cotyledons to feed the embryo during germination. Another way to classify seeds is based on cotyledons. Monocotyledonous seeds, or monocots, have just one cotyledon. They are usually thin and narrow. Maize and grasses are classic examples. Dicotyledonous seeds, or dicots, have two cotyledons. These are usually thick, fleshy, and loaded with nutrients. Peas, beans, and grams fall into this category. This simple difference between monocots and dicots reflects a huge evolutionary divergence in flowering plants. Let's zoom into a familiar dicot seed, the bean. The outermost layer is the testa, a tough coat that protects the seed from mechanical injury, pathogens, and drying. Beneath it lies the thin tegmen. On the surface, you'll notice a scar called the hilum, which marks the seed's attachment point to the fruit. Near the hilum is a tiny pore called the micropyle, through which water enters during germination. Inside, the bean contains two large, fleshy cotyledons. These not only store food but also cradle the embryo. Truly, the bean seed is a perfect package of protection and nourishment. Now, what about the embryo itself? The embryo is the future plant. It has two main parts: the radicle, which develops into the root, and the plumule, which becomes the shoot. The region below the cotyledons is the hypocotyl, while the region above is the epicotyl. Together, these ensure that when the seed germinates, both root and shoot systems establish successfully. Notice how nature has designed everything: the food, the protection, and the blueprint for growth, all inside a tiny beam. Next, let's examine madge, a classic monocote seed, or more correctly, a grain. Unlike beans, in madge the fruit wall and seed coat are fused into one protective layer. It contains only one cotyledon, called the scutellum, which helps absorb food from the endosperm. Here, the endosperm is very large, rich in starch, and covered by a protein-rich alurone layer. The embryo consists of a radicle and plumule, but they are protected by special sheaths, the coleorhiza for the radicle and the coleoptile for the plumule. This clever design ensures survival in grasses and cereals, which are the staple foods for much of the world. Now let's compare. The bean is a dicot with two cotyledons, no endosperm at maturity, and visible structures like hilum and micropyle. Madge, on the other hand, is a monocote with one cotyledon, a large endosperm, and no visible hilum or micropyle. The plumule in beans already has leaf-like structures, while in madge it stays rolled inside the coleoptile. And while bean seeds are free inside the pod, madge grains have their seed coat fused with the fruit wall. Two very different packages, but both serving the same purpose, ensuring the next generation of plants. So, let's wrap up. Seeds may be small or large, monocot or dicot, albuminous or exalbuminous, but they all share one beautiful purpose: to protect and nurture the plant embryo until it is ready to grow. Bean seeds show us the dicot, exalbuminous type with two fleshy cotyledons. Maize shows us the monocot, albuminous type with a large endosperm. Seeds are nature's ultimate survival kits, compact, efficient, and incredibly diverse. I hope you now see seeds not as simple grains, but as nature's marvels, carrying the entire blueprint of life within them. See you in the next session, where we'll uncover the fascinating process of germination, how seeds awaken into new life.